It's good to see you again, Ed. Last time you were on the podcast, we were in Australia.
Okay.
Now we're in Colombia.
Yeah. Long ways.
It's a long way. And the audience has grown a little bit since then.
Okay.
Which is a good thing. So maybe you'd like to introduce yourself to the listeners, tell them a bit about who you are, where you're from.
Okay. Well, I mostly go by Ed Mendoza, and a veces de Eduardo, pero most of the people know me as Ed. And back home where I come from, they call me Eddie, you know. But that's just family. But I've been called a lot of things, and I don't. It's okay, you know. But that's I live in Arizona, and sometimes I live in Mexico with my partner. But in the last so many years, it seems like I traveled some places, like you said, Australia, which was pretty far from where I live. And then this place here in Colombia, this beautiful little ceremonial site that I'm able to sit in, and with the home of Andres Toro. And besides, maybe later I can tell you a little more about myself, but I wanted to appreciate these beautiful mountains here and the spirits that are around this place, and the old spirits, ancient people that roamed this land, hundreds of years ago. And there are spirits here that they can accept us here, that may coming from another place. But in the last week or so, and in the last few days, it's been around a lot of mountains, curvy mountains and roads and motorcycles and cars and traffic on narrow roads, and the beautiful trees here of this land here, and the water I see running, and like to say in Australia too, the beautiful trees over there, and the landscape, which is a sacred Mother Earth that I enjoy being out amongst trees, amongst the water. That's a lake that's right here, and then I just recently took a trip from Mexico drove to Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras, and to go on a little diving expedition, I started this crazy hobby a few years ago, which I kind of always wanted to understand where this water is about. And my uncles just say, we don't play in water. And I don't think of myself when I go diving I don't think of it as fun or play. I do enjoy it. And I'm not naturally inclined to go underwater. Human beings were not designed to go underwater. We go in there with these tanks. But I went underwater because I wanted to see and make a relationship with the water. So I see the animals under there and the turtles, sharks, and I think to myself that I have to keep fighting for this Mother Earth. I have to keep fighting for clean water, for these animals and beautiful fish and plants and things that live in the ocean, the coral reefs. And I don't know if I can appreciate it until I'm there looking at having a fish swim past me 2 feet in front of my face, or a turtle 2 feet in front of me, or a shark that's 10 feet away. That's just ancient sharks having babies and being a part of the ecosystem of the ocean, which we don't think of it, but we're related to that ocean. We get our fish from there, and we get rain from the oceans. And so we're all connected to all these different things, to this mountain and to the oceans and to the lakes and to the rivers. But the sad part is that we're polluting those things. And then even what's as crazy as this is people are going to war over oil and over power and over money. And I'm very saddened by that, and I try to pray for these things is when I go places, pray for the people that are sick, pray for the people that are having difficult times, and at the same time I pray for my health, for my strength, that I can continue to go on and support and pray for my family. And you know, the challenge is sometimes, you know, and as of recently, kind of had some health issues, but so I actually, you know, have to end up praying for myself, and people have ceremonies and have done different practices. So even though my journey in the last 3 months, I've been home for 3 months on this last journey, and as well as I conducted many sweat lodges and many blessing ceremonies and all-night Native American church ceremony to help people wherever I could. But at the same time, people were very kind and said, oh, let's do some acupuncture on you, let's do a massage, or let's do some stretching, or let's do, you know, the different medicines. One of them they worked on me with Kambo, which was new to me. And that's also a part of the process of me coming to terms with my health, my energy of myself, my mind, and try to stay on top of my game, so to speak, and be able to go a little, you know, hang on to this world while I have a reasonable health, so I can see my children as they're getting older, maturing, my grandchildren as they're growing older, and my great-grandchildren. And so it's exciting for me to see that and have that, and I'm very fortunate to have that kind of love of my generations. At the same time, I'm here in Colombia and doing ceremonies for some other people here, and then they reciprocate that love to me, and we become related and help ourselves, because oftentimes in this world we even kind of maybe we're disconnected with some of our own relatives for whatever reasons, for maybe they say the indoctrination of the system, of the mindset. You know, our indigenous people were always brainwashed into that we were not as good as the system, we're not as good as the wealthy, or we're not as good as the white man, or we're not as good as the system, and that we don't, you know, that's why we have a lot of issues, because they kind of made us feel like we were nobody. But somewhere along in my life, I got a little, I guess, mad at the system and said, well, the only way I could get even with the system is to know who I am and believe who I am, and not nobody's. You know, I'm no better than anybody, but then again, they're not better than me either. We're all human beings. We all walk on this other Mother Earth, and we're all human beings. We all want the same thing. We all want to be happy and healthy. Yeah, but some people get distracted by money, thinking that's going to make them healthy or that's going to make them happy. And I see people dying who have all the money in the world, and they're not happy, and they commit suicide. They're millionaires committing suicide. Very wealthy people that had all the money and things can buy, but they're still not happy. Yet with people that walk upon this earth and make a contact with this Mother Earth can feel that energy. And maybe we're not sure what we're going to eat tomorrow, but we know maybe there's a forest out here. And if we are connected, we can find food, we can find water. 'Cause that's our instincts as an animal that nowadays we've lost. We think the only thing that we can do is go to the grocery store, get in the car, go to the grocery store, and people don't know where their food comes from. Me as a farmer, I try to grow as much as I can. I like to eat seafood. That's why yes, I'm going to harvest a little bit of seafood now and then, grow a little fish, and stay connected to where my food comes from. I'm not a great hunter. I go hunting, but I'm not a great hunter. I sometimes have chickens and pigs and goats and animals, and I do eat meat, but not a lot. But I do eat some meat too. It's sacred. The buffalo, the deer. I prefer to hunted animals than domestic animals, but I do sometimes, like I said, raise my own animals on my farm, and certainly the energy and the quality of that is much. You can't compare it to anything from the store or an organic food store. It's just not the same. It doesn't have the same energy. So I take care of my animals. They're like, and I pray, and me and my sons, we harvest the animals, and we're sad in a way that we pray that we have to take a life of an animal or something. But at least we try to take care of our animals the best way we can. So the life that they have good while they're alive, have fresh water, good food, shade, and my chickens are like they're like my cats and dogs are kind of like my pets,
Mm-hmm.
I make relations with them, talk to them and hold them, and ask them, when it's time. When I can't afford to feed them anymore, they stop producing for me. Stop producing eggs, well, I have to make soup out of them and feed myself. But then still come back around and raise more animals and raise more chickens, and the birds around and all the life around. I have a little place, and it's a beautiful place. There's eagles not too far from there, rivers not too far, and try to respect the land and make relations with the people that live around me, our families, our communities. And probably when I was young, I was probably a little bit more rough around the edges and maybe a little bit more mean. But I think I'm kind of like smoothing out and become a little more compassionate in my older age. And maybe that's why people kind of come around me, because I maybe have experienced hardships, difficulties, and I can respect that people are going through tough times and maybe just need a little encouragement, a little prayer, a little advice now and then. So and that's what I do, go around and talk to people, and they say, well, I'm going through a lot. I said, well, I can truly say, hey, I've been through some of that you've been through. The drugs, the alcohol, the no money, no food, no cars, no place to sleep, no money, no shoes. And my brother used to tell me, he says, hey, you're having a hard, but it's going to get better. And as of right now, this moment, I have food to eat. I have a place to stay out of the main weather. It gets hot. My place gets hot in the summertime, gets cold in the wintertime, but that's what makes me a little stronger. It's not climate controlled to 75 degrees all year around. I have a humble place, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be a nice, real nice anything. It's a place to keep me out of the main elements, a place where I can sit down and eat, and look outside and see the trees and hear the birds, and that's enough for me to be happy. So I like some people say, you have a good life, you travel around, but it's not an easy life, traveling around. I'm anxious to go home. I travel light. I have a bag with a little bit of clothes and wash them every so many days, and wear the same shoes, for a length of time, the same hat, and then when I get home, maybe I can get another shirt, another hat, and look a little better and stuff. So people say, you just keep wearing that same shirt all the time. Well, it's the only shirt I travel with, because I don't You have to carry all this stuff. You see people at the airport with 10 suitcases and they're just going for the weekend. And me, I got one little maleta, one little bag, and go for 3 months and I'm okay. But I had to learn how to travel light and go to people's homes. I go to my friend Bobby's home. I go to different people's homes, and everybody lives a little different. And I have to adjust to that. Maybe they don't have coffee, or maybe they don't eat meat or something, or they eat a lot of meat, but people ask me what I like to eat, and I eat about everything. The things that I try not to eat is too much sugary things, sugar drinks, definitely no sodas or Coca-Cola, and try to take the medications that I've been advised to take, homeopathic type of things to revitalize my body, and vitamins, and eat a certain amount of meat, a certain amount of fish, and fruits and vegetables, and try to be not so much coffee, which is a challenge, and try to drink water and stay hydrated, and eat, like I said, everything is in moderation. Yeah, okay. Sometimes maybe I eat, like right now, I've been eating a lot of meat actually here. It's good. All the animals out here, there's a lot of resources they grow good quality meat here. So it's okay. I think it's more or less, or I think for the most part, it's organic. But back home in Arizona, I don't buy meat at the store because that meat is horrible. It looks nice in the case of the store, but it's not good meat. It's been with hormones and medicated animals. They use antibiotics for the animals and give them all kinds of stuff so they grow fast. Mm-hmm. But the quality, and even of the vegetables, the fruits, a lot of pesticides, and so I really try to stay with my own fruit on my farms, and fruit and vegetables. And I think that's what's kept me around to the point where now, time goes fast, but now they call me an elder. Well, I don't know what age does anybody become an elder, They were trying to call me an elder when I was 50, and I kind of got upset about that, but I guess they thought I had some sort of knowledge or something, but I've been seeking knowledge since I was a young man, doing ceremonies and doing medicines to help me think better, to look at the world in a way. And people ask me sometimes, I said, well, I try to think I'm a free thinker and not say I believe in this or that religion or believe in that politics or believe in that. I try to think what's best for this Mother Earth. So maybe, if anything, maybe I'm a believer of this Mother Earth. How are we going to take care of it? How do we live? They're telling me they made these pants. They make them over here in a community over here, but they've contaminated the water by making jeans. So what am I going to do? Maybe I'll just wear my jeans as much as possible and let them have holes in them and wear them out. But no, I always have to have a new pair of jeans. If I have to wear a pair of pants, in this day in the world, if you go to the airport, if you don't have a decent pair of pants, they're going to give you a hard time, the system. If you go to a restaurant and if you don't have you don't look the part, they won't give you service and they don't treat you. But at the same time, I'm not too worried about it. I know who I am, and I don't need to be treated like royalty. But here's my money, If you want to treat me a certain way, that I'm okay with that, because I know who I am. I don't need to be sir or mister. Just here's my money. Here I'm at a restaurant. Just if you're just kind of nice, I'll try to leave you a nice tip if I can afford it. Because everybody's got to live. If I can help somebody out in the street with a few dollars here and then, I've been out there. I know what it's like to be without. So we got to help each other sometimes. Yes, we got to stand on our own, but sometimes it's okay to get a little help from somebody. Mm-hmm. And I've been helped. A lot of times people, oh, hey, here's some paint, or here I can help you. I got this old car that I don't need any more. So yeah, now I don't have a car. Okay, give me a used car, and we'll change the oil on it, fix it up, and go someplace. But people can be pretty nice in this world, amazingly. Even though I kind of, as a young man, I faced a lot of racism and a lot of, don't know what other word to say, is racist people that wanted to see me fail. And at the university and schools, and that, well, okay, well, do you want to do that? But they don't realize that when they got me mad, that they didn't want to do that, because now that I'm not venting my anger towards them. I'm venting my anger within myself to create something within myself to better myself. And I said, if my hair is uncombed, or if I go to the store dirty, I'm okay with that. 'Cause I'm a working class man, and I don't mind going home. And if I have, just finished butchering an animal and there's blood on my pants and I'm dirty, I got mud or something, when I go to the store, I'm not in the front of the store asking for people to give me food. I'm in the store to, trade with my dollars, trade with somebody. Okay, I'll give you food. You help me out. That's even better. I try to live so with the nature, and so it's when my time is to go. I'll be comfortable when I've done what I've done. I did the best I could to not only help myself, but help other people. And I can live with myself. I could sleep at night, trying to feel like I was being as honest as I possibly can, and respectful and kind to people. Someone's on the street, I try to, treat them nicely. They might be, sleeping on the street. So I could tell them good morning like anybody else. So, that's the way I try to look at life. And some people are pretty cool. They see me and they, well, good morning, even though I look like not like the average person in the world. Hey, how you doing? Good. But the kindness goes around. You show that kindness, and it goes around. It seems like sometimes just a simple hello, good morning. It sends good energy around the world. Be nice. And I've learned, that's not easy sometimes, but I try to be nice to all colors of the people. It's the best I can. And sometimes I'm not always happy. Sometimes I'm not always on top of my game. Sometimes I'm not happy. But for the most part, man, I've been blessed all my life, and it's almost kind of a little bit of a miracle that I've lived this far, and still hobble up the mountains and walk around even with a little bit of a bad foot, but still get around, and it's crazy enough, I'm still able to go diving. I love diving, and that's my therapy too. When I'm in that water, it's just another world. It's like that. I'm like, okay, it's an expensive hobby, but maybe after all these years, but again, I have dive masters. Hey, come along. You don't pay me. We'll just go. I have friends that are diver friends through ceremonies. They know me through ceremonies, so I help them through ceremonies. I said, let's go diving. We just pay a little gas for the boat, and it's not too expensive. So life is good, and enjoy this place here, the mountains, and re-energize myself, even though I'm a little bit tired. But I'll be glad to get back home and see my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren.
You were saying before, talking about looking back on the hard times.
Mm-hmm.
Like people come to you and explain things like, hey, I'm going through this, and you're in a position in your life where you're able to look back on that. You've got that life experience behind you.
Mm-hmm.
What would be some advice that you would give to people that are going through those difficult moments in life, like you said, maybe health things or financial issues or relationship issues, or just in general, just going through some hard times? Something that you could share from your point in life right now to those people.
Well, when I see people going through hard times, I tell them, well, you know what? I can relate to them because I've been through that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been, and people don't understand that I've with very little, you know. I mean, I can remember buying one pair of shoes. It may sound funny, but it's the truth. I had one pair of shoes that I bought used, and that's the only pair of shoes I had. And I had cars, you know, they barely made it to where I have friends that say, how did you make it all the way to South Dakota? How did you make it all the way out there in those cars? I mean, you know, if you believe in God and you believe in yourself, you know, God's going to take care of you. It's going to help you out. You know, I tell them, believe in yourself, believe in God. Things are going to get better. It's all I can tell them. And then I tell people, don't stress. Don't stress, because that's the killer. Don't stress, you know, breathe, you know. And I have to tell myself that. Well, I get stressed, you know. What I'm going through now is because of stress. I know that. People tell me that, and I know that it's nothing new. And I have to figure out, even at this age, how to relax. And if everybody does that, and then we're all going to be better. I see people on the streets, they're not relaxed. They're walking by, they're like that. You know, they're in another world. I know, I still try to say hello to them, but I know they're going through something. You can tell by looking at their face. But again, a simple good morning, a simple hello startles them. And they look at me and I say, good morning. People running around the cities all stressed out. And I'm in the city sometimes with my companion, and it gets a little much in the cities. But I would say, you know, to people, hey, if you can, get out a little bit of nature and refocus yourself and breathe, relax, it's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out. You have to believe in yourself, you know. You can read on your little phone or whatever, success stories, you know. Athletes, actors that have been through a lot. Maybe more than you and me and I have been through more. Been raped, been beat up by the cops and shot. But somehow they can come out and not be hateful and not be mad, and because that hate and madness, that'll kill you. You know, you let that dwell in you, you're gonna die. It's gonna create this negative energy in you. And like I said, sometimes in ceremonies we have to fix that stuff up. Hey, get that out of you. You're gonna get sick, but you're gonna get rid of something inside of you. Sometimes these ceremonies jolt the people. Oh, okay. They say, oh, after the ceremony, I'm gonna be okay. After this prayer, I'm gonna be okay. But sometimes they have to break the monotony of that day-to-day life that we're living in. Go to the mountaintop, take some medicine, you know, struggle along. Like, you know, I've been some ceremonies, hey, that's not that much fun, you know, but when the one ceremony they held for me many, many years ago, the medicine man said, okay, you're having a rough time, but in the morning time, you're going to be all right. Sure enough, in the morning time, I was all right. My experience with all this is, I know, I've been through it. There's always light at the end. Just don't give up.
Do you think those ceremonies like prepare you to go out and face the things in life?
See, for sure. Well, no doubt
Like
about
it's
it.
a form of training for the mind?
And what am I fighting for? I'm fighting for a better Mother Earth. I'm fighting for those children that don't have a mom and daddy. I'm fighting for those children that are getting killed in Iran and wherever all around the world. They're killing children. They're killing women. They're raping. You know, there's a way to make it better. This is it. This is the healing. It can be done. And you maybe whoever's watching this, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Yeah, because you haven't been to these kind of ceremonies. And I'm surely not trying to tell the world to come to all these ceremonies. I kind of really can only do so much myself. But the young people are doing ceremonies, and that's good. And you know, I don't want to say nothing negative about Christianity. If somebody can go to some church on Sunday and better themselves and stop drinking and be a better father or mother, take care of their children. Hey, I'm happy for you. You know, it's not my way. It never has been my way. But if people want to practice Buddhism or be a Muslim or whatever, if they're not being part of war and they're not killing people, hey, good for you. But you know, the history of mankind is, you know, the sad thing is that we're killing each other over religion. And that needs to stop. And I don't want to do that. It happens. You know, Native American indigenous people are not perfect. We've done a lot of stupid things. And I've pretty come close. I've done some stupid things, and I've almost done some really stupid things. But I'm just trying to avoid doing very many stupid things or many really stupid things, you know? So, you know, some things in life you say, well, I don't know what decision to make. We make decisions sometimes that are wrong. But we got to come back around and fix that stuff and make amends and ask for God for forgiveness and go on. You know, they have to have, my uncle, I always learned that from him, forgiveness. Because sometimes we just want to be mad at somebody for our entire lives. Mm-hmm. Mad at our wives, mad at our mom, or mad at my dad. We don't know why it is that mom and daddy were that way, or why mom and dad didn't take care of their children. We don't know what's going on in their minds. We can't be mad. We have foster children, yes. You know, I just seen 2 kids this past weekend two couples that adopted babies. I've seen a lot of people adopt babies. These babies were abandoned by somebody who were a drug addict or for whatever reason couldn't take care of those children. Somebody else is. So I think that, you know, we got to, you know, I've surely learned this weekend of being around people. I just love children. And I've had a lot of children and grandchildren. I mean, I love children. I love dogs and cats. I love animals. I love plants. We have love in ourselves for life. Man, we can kick a lot of ass in this world, no? Make the world better. Yeah, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not saying I'm some sort of badass dude, you know, but I'd like to think that I've done some good things in my life and saved some lives. And the work that I did in doing prison work and working as a school teacher, I think I made a difference in young people's lives, indigenous people's lives, and other people's lives. And I can feel good about that. I can feel good about myself, you know. Again, I'm surely made a lot of mistakes. Maybe I said something, yelled at somebody, or my kids, or my wife, or my dad, or somebody, and I wasn't doing something good. But I just take a couple steps back and say, geez. And sometimes I'd say, gee, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry I did this to you. I'm sorry I said this, or I'm sorry you know, when I was little, the old ways of school, we used to kind of whip our children if they didn't behave, but, you know, I feel bad about that. You know, I kind of was rough on my first child, and you know, I'm trying to be better now. But you know, in the old days, man, in the school systems, if you didn't behave, man, they put a strap to you, you know. And maybe in some ways, maybe I'm better because of that, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't say I was abused, but they certainly disciplined me in a strong way, and I'm glad about that today. My dad was a very strict man, very military style, and my mom was a little bit more different, but I had the 2 sides, one compassion, one discipline, and that blend, you know, somehow I'm very fortunate that I had my mom and my daddy in my life. They were neither one of them were perfect, and I accept that. But I know that they had love for me, and that's why I'm here. Because of their love they had for me, now I have that love for my children, and then try to extend that to an orphan here or a student that I don't even know his name. But, hey, I used to call all my students son. Sometimes they didn't like that, but I mean, if I didn't know their name, I had hundreds and hundreds of students, I don't remember their names. I'd say, hey, son, hey, young man, hey, young lady, you know, try to show some sort of compassion for the young people.
Mm-hmm.
Life is good.
Can you talk a bit more about compassion? Like, what have you learned about compassion over the years?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I think that women are generally more compassionate, I'll say that. And us men are a little bit more mean. But if you love your children, sometimes you have to, if it means that I'm mean, that's all right. It's a son, you gotta clean the yard today. Daughter, you need to wash dishes. You need to help mom. You need to help dad. And that might seem mean. And that, if you want to call it mean, I'm okay with that. But I'm not here to be my children's friends or anybody's friend. I'm here to teach you. If I talk to you, say something mean to you, I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm trying to teach you something. But the only thing maybe is, as I'm older, maybe I'm a little bit better at a choice of words. How I say, instead of saying, hey, pick that up right now, I might say, hey, can you help me and pick that up because it looks like dirt there, it's dirty, so can you help me? So it's maybe just a little bit more way of how I ask things. And my companion, my girlfriend would certainly tell you that I'm not always like that. And the interesting thing that here in Mexico and in this life, well, not here, in Colombia, different places, the culture is a lot of please and thank you, but in some of the indigenous languages, there's no word for please and thank you. So it's, in the old ways, we didn't use a lot of that please and thank you. But every day, people kind of expect that now. But sometimes we just say, we just, oh, yeah, or your eyes or your face. That's your way of appreciating it. You eat more food. Oh, can I have some more? You're telling that person you like their food. And that's the cooks. That's my compliment. You want more. Do you want more? Okay. And then, now, and sort of even more, instead of saying thank you, can I help wash dishes now? Can I help clean the floor? That's the way of saying thank you. It's more meaningful than just say thank you, leave the plate and go on. Help out a little bit. Can I help cook? Can I help you do something? That's the way of showing thanks. And, if you do something for somebody, or somebody wants me, I don't have to wait for somebody to say, please do this. I'm going to go do that anyway. I'm going to go try to take the trash out. I'm going to try to do this. So kindness not always means that we say please and thank you. Maybe just a hug or a touch of a hand, or right on, bro, or something like that. Hey, good one. There's a lot of ways to appreciate it without saying the word thank you and please. But we do need to show that appreciation. We need to show that love. And I always say it's easy to say love, but do you really mean it? Are you really thankful, or you just was trained to say thank you? Do you really appreciate it? And I think nowadays sometimes people it's just a habit. Get off the table, thanks, thank you. But no, really appreciate it. Appreciate what's done for you. So that's how I try to be. But I have to admit, sometimes, man, nowadays, I say thank you and I say please. And other weird old things that, for me, the hugs and the kisses, and I'm not so much of that, but I'm trying to compromise, Okay, But like I said, it's different cultures. Mm-hmm. And here I am in Colombia, when I go to this place, I have to adjust to that culture and kind of navigate cultures. Because then, where I live, the culture is a little different. Even my sons, when I see them, they just, hey, I don't hug my, but I know that we have love for each other, but we don't always, hey, Dad, it's good to see you. I love you. I miss you. Or we don't say those things. But we sit down and talk and have a good conversation, make a relationship. And, I'll see you later now. Okay, Dad. That's all I need. Okay, Dad. Just say, Dad, hey, you got something to eat? Well, let me help you out. We're good. So just try to be, I'm just trying to be a little clever with my words and a little bit more positive and try not to be negative. And, I've been there. I've been mad at things. I've been mad at my kids. mad at my wife, but hey, I have to take a step back and say, hey, dude, wait a minute. Did she do something or is it me? And most of the time it's just me. I have to just chill, breathe, relax, and be a little more patient.
Talking about life and where you're at right now, you're a great grandfather, right? How do you see the next stage of life? Like, I mean, we never know when we're going to cross over, but how do you interpret that? You've spent a lot of time with like a lot of different like native elders, studied a lot of cultures. What's the interpretation of like the happy hunting grounds, or how you see that?
Well, we've always been, around these elders. I've seen them that they're ready to go on. So, nephew, I'm going to go on, but I'm going to leave this ways with you, so you can take care of the people. And that's what they said to me. Oh, okay. When I was a young man, and I thought, well, I remember those words. And I said, well, and now, like you said, I don't know when I'm crossed over. I've come close quite a few times here, that my kids thought I was going to check out. But, I don't know. That's what the old people say. There's another world out there. But at the same time, what I've done while I'm here is what I know. I know that I'm right here. I got my hands here, and you there. I know that reality is in front of me. So now, all I can do is train my children to live their life accordingly, live life in a good way, and be kind. And I think they're doing a pretty decent job. And my kids got issues, of course. They got negative stuff, but for the most part, they're pretty cool. They help me out, give me food. So, okay, whatever happens after this time, I know that I've lived fully, and I know that I've done my best, and I've done good things. I know that some things not so good. But that's the whole balance of everything, is that nobody's perfect, and my kids, and I know my dad's not, I've accepted that. And I've seen all of my friends, all my uncles and aunties, my grandmas, go on. But I'll say this, they're in my dreams. They're in my dreams, and they're within me. The old people, the ancestors, the teachings is within me. So my responsibility now is to teach others what I've got, the knowledge that I've learned, as much as I can, as much as they're willing to learn. Of all the people I work with, some are going to learn it and some are not going to learn it. But it doesn't mean that they won't eventually get it. Sometimes we're not ready for the knowledge. And some people are still going to go out and going with drugs and drinking. Maybe 20 years after I'm gone, they'll say, hey, yeah, I remember my uncle, I remember my grandfather used to tell me this. And they change their life and they make better of themselves. My dad passed away, my mom passed away when I was pretty young. They didn't see me where I'm at right now. They're not listening to me like you're listening to me, but maybe in the heavens, they might be seeing me. Yeah, they might be real happy right now for me. But I know that I'm happy because, for one thing, I think if they were here, they would tell me, well, that's good, Eddie. You did good for yourself. I want to make my mom and daddy proud of me. I want to make my children proud of me. When I go, they can say, hey, my dad, he had his flaws, but he did good things. He treated us well. I did the best I could for him. I was a very poor person. I worked 6-7 days a week, put food on the table. And I think my kids recognize that. Most of them do, not all of them. Some of them are, the younger ones maybe a little bit more, had a little bit easier life. And so I think in order to appreciate things, you have to have some really difficult times in life. And that's what some people never had. They never, being in a place where they didn't have no food. So I think that I remember some people saying, oh, it's just a damn cup of coffee. It's just a damn cup of coffee. Every cup of coffee that I got, I appreciate that coffee that I drink, because sometimes I didn't have any coffee. Sometimes there wasn't any clean water. So, and I try to tell them all the time, hey, you guys are kind of fortunate, you have nice cars, you have things. But I still try to live humbly and let myself be an example of how you can live with very little and be okay. Mm-hmm. So I hope, the thing is, I think they're gonna, if they don't get it now, I think they eventually will. And so, however long I'm still here, I'm gonna teach as much as I can, and that's why I think God is allowing me to hang around a little bit longer, but someday, I'm going to be tired of the knee, the aches and pains, and maybe I'll say, okay, man, I'm ready to, hopefully I'm going to go to sleep and say, okay, I've said bye to everybody. They might not know it, and then it's my time. And I can feel like I'm not afraid of it. I've always said for many years, if it's my time to go tomorrow, it's been a pretty fun ride so far. A lot of adventure, a lot of good times, and not so good times. But the fact that I experienced not good times makes the simple things in life just like, wow. Mountain view here, wow. There's no hotel here. This guy made all this stuff and constructed this stuff with used lumber. It's nice. But it's not like the fancy hotel down here. But to me, it's okay. It's beautiful. I could sit here and enjoy this. And this is beautiful. To me, I'm touched by what's been done around in this nice little ceremonial house that they have here, and the view of the mountains and sacred mountains that I've been able to walk upon. A lot of mountains all over the world. I'm lucky, very, very lucky. And my dad worked construction, so that I can have a better life. I'm blessed. He didn't get to see Colombia. The only time he went out of the country was when he had to go to war. Because they made him go to war, not because he wanted to go kill somebody, but the United States government made him go to war. That's not what he wanted to do. He didn't want to go kill anybody. My dad didn't want to do that. He never felt good about that. So he went to Europe, he went to Asia, but he never went to Colombia. He never went to Australia. Never went to South America, Honduras. He never went diving. So, I'm thankful for my dad that, he worked hard so that I could, I was very lucky. I had the opportunity to go to a university and, good or bad or whatever, but the thing was that I didn't become institutionalized. I learned about the system and came back to humble beginnings and said, I got to get rid of this institutional thinking and get back to the Mother Earth. And the best thing I ever did in my life was getting back to the basics of life, simple life. And the two-car garage was never my, probably at one point in my life, I thought that was the real deal. Two-car garage in suburbia with a house, a wife with 2 kids and a lot of money. But that's a fake world, I don't have money, I don't have a 2-car garage. I have a very humble little trailer, and I'm living in a good way. I'm happy. It doesn't need to be a big house or a big car. I mean, they've asked me to go to work and make lots of money. No, I'm okay. I got freedom. I can go to Colombia here, and I don't have to tell you guys, hey, I need to get a flight tomorrow to get back to work Monday. I'm retired. after all these years of working hard, and then I'm enjoying life. Never knew that was going to happen. I never knew I was going to retire and have the opportunity to come to this beautiful place in Colombia. Maybe I've been here maybe 8 times, and each time I see another mountain, see another river, see another lake, see another people, and make relations with people and kind of become like family, become good friends, you know. And in this world, how many good friends you have? Most people could say, not more than the fingers I have on this hand. If you can say you got 10 good friends, well, you're doing super good. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people that call me uncle, a lot, you know. But how many of them are going to take care of me, you know, as an uncle? When I'm sick, how many are going to? Yeah, quite a few. But there's some that maybe after I'm old and sick, they won't come and visit me, won't say hello, or won't try to bring me food or try to fix my knee or massage or my foot or my bad leg or something. But fortunately, you know, I've had people help me out, acupuncture and massage. But they say I help people out, so then that comes back to me too. They always said that. Old people always said, you help somebody out, it's going to come back to you more so. So sometimes they say, well, how come you give those people money, or how come you did that? And they didn't give you nothing back. It'll come back from someplace else. It doesn't have to come back from that person. Give them a little money, you know, help them out, or, you know, they come over and borrow a hammer, or people come over, hey, I need some screws to do something. Well, yeah, don't go to Home Depot. I'll come over, I have a handful of screws, you need them, and borrow my drills or my tools and just bring them back. And sometimes if I have time, I'll go help them fix their plumbing or the electricity if I know how. Sometimes I don't know how. I call my friends, how do you fix this? I don't know how to fix the car sometimes. I used to fix cars in the old days, but not these new cars. But I mean, if you really have to, you know, the thing is, everything is be creative and solve things. Sometimes you can, sometimes I don't know what to do. So I say, hey, Bobby, how do you do this computer thing? Oh, this is how you do it. Oh, okay. I want to learn, though. Got to keep an open mind, try to learn about living and about the history of this world, man. If you understand the history of this world, you'll say, man, people are doing the same thing over and over again, killing people and being greedy, and I don't know, man. I think I'm a little bit like, maybe I want to believe we can make this world better. If I don't believe that we can make this world better, then what the hell am I doing? I have to believe that we can make this world better. Mm-hmm. And without that, I don't have, what's the point of anything? I could live here and have my fried eggs in the morning. But what about the people that don't have no food? If that can't get better, then I just feel like, I do feel like there's hope to make the world better. And some of you people say, you're crazy. Those people nothing's going to change. And it doesn't seem like it, but I still want to make it better. I still want to make my family better, the community I live in, the community I live in, the indigenous reservation I live in, make it better. And I do have young people come and tell me, Ed, hey, Mr. Mendoza, Ed, you know, I used to do drugs and I used to be in a lot of trouble, but I remember you made a difference in my life. And they recently just come, hey, I want to thank you for that. You know, but I don't need all my hundreds and hundreds of students and kids that were in jail to come and tell me that. I know that I have made a difference. Some of them, you know, I work with kids that could have killed each other. I've with kids that had committed suicide and stuff, that people died on the streets. It happens. Can't try to do our best, but some stuff just doesn't get better. But some stuff does get better. And that I have to focus on that. You know, hey, this kid's better. Coming back, hey, Uncle, thanks a lot for your help. Okay, good. Shake hands. Go on, keep going on, son. Keep a nephew, keep working. Encourage them to get better. So that's what the old people tell me. Hey, they tell me, brother, nephew, you're doing good. So I had uncles too. I had aunties and grandmothers and stuff that, hey, looked at me, hey, teachers, and even when I was a little kid, teachers that said, hey, you're somebody. You're not dumb. You're good. You know, somebody tell me that. I'm good. Me, I'm smart. Well, okay, maybe I am. Maybe I am a good person. Sometimes I needed somebody to tell me a few times, hey, you're a good man. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I think back now, they're good uncles, good aunties that inspired me. I mean, a lot of medicine men, a lot of spiritual leaders. Yeah, it's just people in the streets that just said hello to me. You know, I've had people give me money. Give me some, hey, can I buy you something to eat? Hey, thank you. And people, hey, I'm out of gas, here's some gas. I say, hey, well, can I have, this is the last money? No, just help somebody else when you can. So that's what I try to do. I've been out of gas, I've been out of everything. People brought me food. Not nothing, bring me food. I always tell the story, even I lived in a community where there was a lot of white people, and well, in the rural community, and this one weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, these white people came and brought me food. They weren't from any organization or not from some sort of club or nothing, or some sort of, they didn't get in the newspaper, they just brought me a turkey and some food. And these were non-Indians, so I try to tell my people, hey, it's time to stop hating on anybody. And I'm working on it. I don't hate white people, but I just make fun of them. But I like to mess with them, but I try to treat them nice now. Compassion, like you said. You know, if your ancestors jacked with my ancestors, that's a long time ago. It's time we kind of get over that compassion and forgiveness. It's not you. It's not you. You know, maybe your grandpa. Maybe it's my grandpa that was not good. But I have to go on.
Your journey in the ceremonial ways, in the traditional ways of life, how they've formed you, like how listening to elders. I know you just mentioned some stuff about elders, but how sitting with elders, how being around ceremonial way of life has shaped your life in a good way. For people out there, maybe some people want to understand more why this way of life is so rewarding and can be so giving to people that give to it.
Well, first thing I want to say is that there's different kinds of knowledge. There's intellectual knowledge, there's book knowledge, there's knowledge of science, there's knowledge of math, and all these. All that's good, you know. I try to tell my stepson, math is good, to understand angles and dimensions and how much this costs, how many feet. But when I was kind of young, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I think somehow people say, well, were you gifted, or did you have a vision, or what happened? Or I fell out of bed and hit my head and mixed up my marbles and they came out a little bit better, which happened a number of times, so maybe that was good that I fell off the playground and hit my head and got hit by a 2x4 on the head, but all that just happened. But I think that I've been through some ceremonies as a young person, and I saw the beautifulness of the ceremonies and the energy of the leaders, the kindness and the love that they showed towards me. And I was like, wow, it moved me. The spirit moved me. How it moved me. Oh, I feel like I can get up in the morning. I feel like I can help somebody with the energy. So I had all these people. How was I fortunate to run across these people? It just happened. All these natives are coming to town. oh, there's an elder over here and the other over there. Okay. So I meet them and hey, nephew, grandson, this is, and explain things to me. You know, blow a whistle on me, fan me with the medicine. Somehow, the spirit moves within me. Okay, so you have a body, you have a mind. Your body says, I'm going to walk over there. But if the spirit moves you, you can walk the other side of the mountain. You don't quit. So that's the spiritual awakening that the ancestors had. If they didn't have that ability to be moved by the spirit, I wouldn't be here. Some great-great-grandparent had that spirit that came through me, through one of my ancestors or many of my ancestors. So if I didn't have all that, I would have been gone a long time ago. But I was moved by the, man, I'm just blessed. There's so many elders in my life and, you know, famous, well-known people. And now they're all gone on. Who's left? There's a few people my age left that were given responsibilities or learned about these things. And so I was very young. If somebody had said, hey, did you know that it was going to be like this? I would say I had no idea. That somebody would say, hey, Ed, or hey, uncle, you're a spiritual leader, you're a medicine man, or you're a chief. I would have said, you're crazy. I'm just a simple working person that tried to provide for my family. But little by little, they said, okay, these leaders came to my home and they said, hey, this is your home. Use this eagle feather and bless these instruments here, bless these things. And oh, okay, I did that once. And okay, then they said, okay, we want you to conduct a sweat lodge. Well, I don't know too many songs, but they said, go ahead. When people come out, say, I feel better. Okay, conduct this Sundance. Say, hey, I like what you do. Come do this peyote meeting. Okay, I like what you do. And you see them all over. They're doing good things, dedicated to a way of life to helping people out. They're not all 100%, you know, that's for sure. You know, we're not, just because you did a couple ceremonies doesn't mean you're all okay. It just doesn't happen like that. But when you're ready to understand life, the teachers come to you, the medicine comes to you. And just some sort of, I don't know what they say. If somebody says, you're lucky, I said, no, you made it that way. You went and looked for that knowledge. You went to go see that medicine man and you brought him some food and you gave him something in return and said, okay, I'm going to teach you something. But you got to give to get. So I try to, in the days, you know, and I had a little bit of money. There was one time I said, well, I'm going to go to a ceremony. It's craziest, one of the craziest things that I ever, we chartered an airplane, a little airplane. There were 7 of us, I think, in that airplane. I went to go do a ceremony. I was working every day. I was making pretty good money. I was making a living. And we needed to get there. So we chartered an airplane, went and did that ceremony. But it was good. But sad thing is the people we did the ceremony before and all the ones that were in that plane, they all went on. I'm the one who left. It's crazy, you know, and I'm actually older than some of those that they went on before me. But it doesn't mean that I'm any better or whatever. It's just that they did their stuff in their time and I still have more stuff to do. That's the only reason why I'm living. I got more stuff to do. But again, I was just taught some things about how to do some ceremony. At a certain point, you become you become a common sense to you, spiritual common sense, so to speak. Okay, I know I need this to do this to this person. I know this person has this issue, and all I can do is try to break that negative spirit and bring a positive spirit so that they can heal themselves, as I've done to myself. Because I had to come clean with who I was and make a connection with the God Almighty, the Creator. And we can do that. We can make the sun shine. We can make the water rain if we're connected.
Yeah. Do you have any final words or anything you'd like to express to people out there?
Well, the final words as I could say is the only thing I could say is I'm getting fatter and older. And according to some people, uglier. But that's okay. I'm happy, and I'm just feel at this point in life that I thank God, the Almighty Creator. I thank that I've been blessed to be around this world and see the things and do the things that I've done, to be able to walk up this mountain and walk and touch the water here. I'm just so grateful for the life that I've had, and the life of my children. I see my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, and when I see them tell me how they pray and how they see things, and I see them working for their kids, I know that despite some of the all negative things in this world, that things are all going to get better. I do believe that. I see it in my children. I see it in you. I see it in you. It's going to get better. But we got to work at it. We got to work hard. We got to work hard. We got to not be selfish. We got to be giving, and just keep helping the best we can. If nothing else, we can just be nice to somebody. If nothing else, in the restaurant, when they be nice, say thank you for the food. Put your chair up and clear your table. Be thankful. And those people are going to go home tonight. The ones that are working at a restaurant, the ones that are working around, they can say, it was a good day for me. And they're going to feel good. They're going to talk to their children. So it's just kind of like a spiral effect. But we start the spiral. We start the positiveness, and we make the world better. You can do it. You can do it. Anybody can do it. The little child that gives me a hug, they're making the world better. Now I feel better. Okay?
Thank you. Really appreciate your time. Come here, and it's good to have you here in Colombia.
And my pleasure, my honor to be here.
And I know a lot of people here, praying for you and ensuring that you're going to be around for a lot longer. Continue to teach people, inspire people to live a good life.
A couple more weeks at least, Somos
la tierra, somos la vida, somos la luna, la estrella y el mar.